welcome to Unfiltered, another episode. And you know, it's been 2 weeks since the last episode, which was the review of the Myrtle Beach Air Show, and I've been trying to get clips together for a video package for all the video I shot down there, and I can't decide which pieces of video to use. So I'm having a hard time deciding on that. So I figured, you know, I can't wait another week to do a show. So this week we get a little ranting, possibly one video that I got permission to use, which is very unique from anything that and different than anything that I shot. So let's go over to the rant camera and see what's going on. So, had to check behind me to make sure that I had the right shot up. So, as a matter of fact, turn that on, then I'll know that I've got the right camera up. So, what's going on this week? There's been a lot of talk last couple of days about bottled water and microplastics in bottled water. Microplastics is defined as anything less than 1 millimeter in size. So it's like a period at the end of a sentence. Apparently introduced into the water during the industrial process of making the bottles, and there are traces of that left behind. And we're drinking them down every day. So another thing that I heard last week, 2 weeks ago, no, last week, was the fact that glass recycling is coming to an end. And it's getting, because of the type of plastics that we're now using in water bottles, those can't be recycled either. Now, this is where my skepticism and my cynical nature kicks in, because 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago, somewhere in that time frame, the scientists, the powers that be, everybody was telling us plastic is the way to go. Plastic is the wave of the future. We've convinced people that they can't drink out of their tap, which is stupid. Of course you can drink out of a tap, you can drink out of a running stream, you can drink out of a puddle if you want. You may get a little upset tummy, you may get a little dysentery, but generally, water is not going to kill you when you drink it. I'm going way out on a limb here now, because it just dawned on me, you know, we've got all these new diseases. We've got the autism spectrum that seem to, you know, come up, and people blame vaccinations. Oh, it's because you had your kid vaccinated and he became autistic, or he had Down syndrome, or things like that. But then again, for 50, 60, 70 years, we've been putting chemicals into the water that we drink to make it safer. Is it really making it safer? For one thing, the whole move to plastic, anything was dumb. We all talk about sustainability. Sustainability is not drinking a bottle of water and throwing the plastic away. Sustainability is drinking a glass bottle of water, sending the glass back someplace and having it refilled. That's sustainability. We have to get over this whole, we have killed ourselves when it comes to manufacturing, when it comes to quality of our products. We've killed ourselves for convenience and greed. Now, it doesn't make sense, does it? We killed ourselves because of greed. The problem is, people figured out that they can't design products to last for 50 years. Why? They'd only sell one. You know, if your TV would last 50 years, your family would buy one TV every 50 years. No. The same thing with furniture. Oh my God, furniture. My dad worked in furniture, in a couple of furniture manufacturers here in Keene when I was a little kid. And he would come home smelling like wood and, the wood manufacturing process. But the furniture he made lasted for a long, long time. You know, when you go out and you bought an old dresser back then, I mean, that's the reason we have antique stores. Do you think any of this pressboard crap that we're making now is going to be around in 100 years to be an antique store? Hell no. We've sacrificed everything for convenience and ease and for, the fact that we don't want to pay somebody. Well, and again, if you're a craftsman, it used to be you could put 8, 10, 15, 20, 40 hours into a project, sell it for $500, and that would be worth it. But if you put 40 hours into a piece of furniture now, you're not going to sell that thing for any less than $1,000. Maybe you'd sell it cheaper. I don't know. I tend to sell, all of the stuff that I sell, my photography and stuff, I probably extremely underpriced. But the reason I do that is to make it more accessible to everybody. I don't want just rich people to have my photography. I want rich people and poor people alike to have my photography. I don't want to cut somebody out just because, they don't have enough money. That's the biggest, race is nothing when it comes to rich and poor. You want to talk about exclusive, the rich exclude the most ever anywhere. There are fancy rich people clubs that even a white guy can't walk into, unless he's got enough money. It's stupid. We say that the difference is race, but no, it's not race. Because a rich black guy treats people the same as a rich white guy does. Like crap. Because they're not rich. They're not part of the club. And that's what it is. We have to find a way to wrap our heads around the fact that we are just too greedy. We will march in the streets, against oppression and discrimination and unfairness, but we won't raise a finger to do anything about it. We won't give of ourselves. That's the beauty of Cheshire TV. Because it's very minimal expenses to come to Cheshire TV and make a TV show. We treat everybody the same. The rich guy doesn't get anything more than the poor guy gets. Every single one of my producers gets the same amount of effort out of me when I'm doing my job. I don't care if it's Pat Rainey and Gerhard Betting and Jim Smart and Johanna Laurie doing, these elderly folks who are in here every week doing shows for the community to spread their knowledge for free. I look around the community and I wonder, why doesn't Cheshire TV have a gardening show? Why doesn't Cheshire TV have, a painting show? There's a simple fact, is that people do not want to give away their knowledge. They want to be paid for their knowledge. Now, to me, the only reason to gain more knowledge is to be able to share more knowledge. Knowledge is nothing if it's not passed down. Yeah, you guys know I'm right. I know you know I'm right. But again, because I'm Rick Blood, I ain't no rich millionaire guy. I'm just a poor slob who's got to, barely make a living wage and, not, nobody's going to die if I fail at my job. I'm just another guy on the street who doesn't mean anything. Let me. I was going to talk about other stuff this week too. I just can't remember what it was. Let's see. The city budget has got. I've got an FOP meeting this week where they're going to possibly add a couple of amendments to the budget. I know Terry Clark is backing an amendment to add, I can't remember the numbers, a large amount of money for a sustainability director or manager or dude or something. And I'm not sure exactly what that means. Again, sustainability, while we're, here's a prime example. And somebody, I can't remember which city councilor brought it up, but it was before the last budget review that the FOP had last week. It was, I believe it was Tuesday night, and that was when the talk about the whole plastic bottles and stuff was happening. City Hall put in these great new water coolers that will actually fill bottles of water, but yet when we went into that, now it was an early FOP meeting, so the city provided a light dinner, and and there was a cart full of bottled water. Do I need to say that again? The city spent a bunch of money putting these new water fountains in City Hall so that would fill water bottles, but yet for their catered light dinners before a special meeting, they bought bottled water in plastic bottles, trying to poison us all, apparently, with the microplastics and the PFC, WVBs, and HWCs that all leach out from the plastic into the... I don't know what the hell letters they are. I just made them up. But, you know, the plastic apparently leaches out into the water, and then it gets in our system, and it makes us all mental and stuff. So, I don't know. But why is the city doing that? That's my question. You know, granted, I mean, it's not, you know, it's not raising the tax rate because they buy a case of water. It's the principle of the whole thing. You know, you talk about sustainability, but then, hey, here's another 24 plastic bottles. That's not sustainability. I'm sorry. And as far as, you know, downtown, yeah, just keep rebuilding downtown. You know, nothing else matters. Wheelock Park, but who cares? Close it down. Robin Hood Park, what the hell? Nobody goes there anyway. Everybody's downtown. Everybody needs to be downtown. You know, let's see if we can, you know, every weekend, get everybody in Keene to be downtown. That's, again, it's dumb. Maybe we need to stop looking at downtown. Maybe we need to start looking at the outskirts of our town, the edges of our town, the areas where we could do something to make people want to come to Keene. Robin Hood Park. Why not invest in the trail system up there? Why not invest in maybe an adventure course up there? You know? Sell the idea to one of these big ropes courses, you know? Privately owned. Again, money for the community, more money for the community. You know? Wheelock Park. I don't know what to say about Wheelock Park. Beautiful softball fields, and I mean, I haven't been out there in years for a softball game, but the last time that I went out a few years ago, I went out on, I don't know, a weekday night, Wednesday night or Thursday night or something, where when I was a kid, every set of bleachers out there at the softball fields would have been packed. Now, half a dozen people there, you know, watching some of these local softball teams. And it's sad. It's very sad. Nobody wants to go out and do anything anymore. So yeah, ideas like that. I got ideas at the airport. I had a great idea for the airport. Maybe an aviation museum at our airport. Ooh, wouldn't that be a cool idea? Get a dozen, 2 dozen old planes to exhibit down here. Put them in a hangar, make it beautiful, little, you know, multimedia kind of stuff going on. Draw people to this area. That's what we need to do. We need to bring people here. And I think we shouldn't be looking to bring people here permanently. I think what we want to do is we want to bring people here to drop off their money and then go home. You know, that would be the perfect scenario. Get people to come to Keene, leave their money, and go home. Yeah. So why don't we start looking at that stuff that will help people do that? You know, and not just a tree-filled, the dark Main Street, you know, wow, hey, come down to Main Street. It's the darkest damn Main Street in America at night. I've been to small one-horse towns that their little post office and grocery store are lit up better than our entire Main Street is, you know? Our Main Street it's a shame the way that our Main Street looks. I think there are altogether too many trees on Main Street. We don't need trees lining every inch of Main Street. What you want is you want people that are driving down the road to be able to see everything. At night, you drive down there, and the reason that the crosswalks are so unsafe is because it's dark, and the way that the lights are set up and the trees are around, there's too many shadows. You don't want shadows in a city at night. That's where bad stuff happens, in the shadows. Yeah. No, I would, and you know, light pollution, who cares? Nobody looks up at the sky anyway. You're all too busy looking at your damn phones. Just saying. You used to need the stars to guide yourselves by. But now people just look at their phones for their step-by-step directions to wherever they're going. You don't have to follow the stars. So you don't have to look up at the sky. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, make downtown bright. Make Robin Hood dark. You want to see the stars? Go up into Robin Hood. You know, that's the best place to look up and see stars. Go up to Otterbrook Dam. You know, get out of city areas. Cities will be bright. Because the more people there are, the more light there has to be. So, you know, there are places, wilderness areas, and if we stop tearing down wilderness areas to build parking lots and high rises, maybe we'll have wilderness, open skies, dark spaces. But the bigger we grow, and actually one of the things that was said by, I believe, the highway department, was that the budget for road marking has increased this year for the simple fact that we have more roads. And we're probably planning on building more. You know, you look at road funds. The fact that, you know, it's a friggin' 5-year cycle to get through the city to get every road paved. It used to be a 2-day cycle when there was only one road in town. One day they'd get it ready, next day they'd pave it. Whoop, hey, we're done. See you in a few years. Every road you add adds money to the maintenance costs. You know, every new development this city comes up with, every new idea this city has does nothing but add maintenance costs to this city. I don't know. It's just kind of the fact that people just can't seem to see that we are not helping ourselves by being more greedy and wanting more conveniences. We're not helping ourselves. We help ourselves again. You want to help the homeless? invite them into your home. You want to help the hungry, cook them a meal. You want to help the downtrodden, get out there and talk to them. Don't just step over the street. Step over them in the street. Again, you say everybody's equal, but you know damn well, you know as well as I do, that everybody is not equal. I wanted to be a CEO. Guess what? I didn't want to put in the work. Meanwhile, Joe Schmo over there, he's a CEO. Why? Because he did a better job than I did. Does that make him better than me? No. Nope, it doesn't. And that's what we all have to realize. We're all equal. It's what we decide to do with our lives as to how successful and how, how we're going to live and how we look at ourselves. I don't know. There was something else, but my time's running down. So anyway, let's go back over here to this other camera and make sure I got my credits set up, because I did a show a couple weeks ago, and while you didn't know, the computer, I didn't have my credits queued up, and the computer decided to drag its feet, and I had to put my credits in post. So I guess that's it for today. We're almost out of time, and I'll be back next week. Maybe I'll have a couple of air show clips. I don't know. Next air show is on June 9th in Rhode Island. So until next week, I'm Rick Blood. This is Unfiltered. Peace.